Alright, before we get into the video, I just want to show you the interaction between Ikki and Pursuit attacks. He gets one stack over here because Tolan casts the S3, and then the following attacks that Tolan does, he doesn't get additional stacks. So he will only gain one stack per turn of the enemy. In this video, I'm just going to highlight the strong points of Ikki and then also his flaws. When I use Ana, I just realized just how broken she is the more I use her. Whereas this guy, the more I use him, the more problem I have realized for him. He just doesn't have the vibe that Ana has when she was released. So basically, like he didn't pass the vibe check, right? But yeah, first thing I'm gonna go over is strong points of Ikki. This guy has an insanely wide variety of stuff that he does in his kit. If you take a look at his abilities, his passive alone already has AoE buff strip that is irresistible and cannot miss, and also AP reduction, and the second part of his passive as well has max HP cap reduction of 30%, right? So this unit alone has a bunch of stuff that he can provide to your team, mainly the AoE dispel and then also the max HP cap reduction, while also giving you the nuke. His S1 does, he has the highest damage multiplier S1 in the game, aside from Hercules. Hercules does more damage than him if he has lower HP. But this guy will consistently do 160% damage on his S1, right? Since he's going to be spamming his S1 quite a fair bit because he only has 2 skills, having a 160% multiplier on his S1 is also very good. And it also steals buffs, so whenever he counter attacks, he's going to steal a bunch of buffs from the enemy. Potentially up to 3 buffs. His S3, however, is a little bit underwhelming because he only does 120% damage and cleanses himself. He doesn't do anything extra. Putting the Envious Moon buff is good, but sometimes you overlap this. I'm going to show you in a bit when we come over to his flaws. And then the other strong point of him is this 50% of Ikki's attack. This is massive. It can crit and it can last throughout the entire fight as long as you have this Envious Moon. As long as you don't consume the Sleep No More, because once you get to 12 stacks, you gain the Sleep No More, right? But as long as you don't die and consume the Sleep No More, you retain that Envious Moon, which means this 50% of his attack will prevail throughout the fight. So you're always going to be doing 50% damage, but keep in mind you do need him to stay alive and not consume this Sleep No More buff. So again, like I said, a good bruiser has a guaranteed form of damage, and even if he is stunned, this 50% of attack will go through. Okay, right now I'm going to show you one of his main selling point. I think this is one of the strongest features that he has. Sorry about that. If you can keep him alive without consuming this Sleep No More, he cycles all the way back to the first Waxing Moon. So as you can see right here, after 12 stacks, he will consume all Waxing Moon, gains Sleep No More, and casts Pale Fire Snatch, right? But it doesn't say anywhere that he will remove the Envious Moon buff on him. The only way that you can remove the Envious buff on him is when he consumes this Sleep No More. But if you can keep him alive without consuming that Sleep No More, check out what happens here. And then when he gets to 12 stacks, he does his Pale Fire Snatch. After he casts that 12 stacks, he goes back to 0 stacks and he can build it up once again. So he casts the S1 again. This is the reason why he's going to be extremely annoying in PvP. Because if you can't force him to use the Sleep No More buff, he will just keep on cycling like crazy. Look at this. He gets to 12 stacks, he resets. He casts the AoE buff strip again, AP down again. He gets to 8 stacks, he reduces your max HP cap again. He gets a shield again. When he gets to 12 stacks, he does another nuke. Look at this. Look. Yeah, he's gonna be super cancer. I recently just found out about this because I didn't really know that he was gonna cycle this well with his Fecal Moon, right? Or not Fecal Moon, with his Envious Moon. As long as you can make him, not die and not use up the Sleep No More buff, he is one of the best PvP Esper that you can get in this game. Yeah, with this discovery, he might be better than Ana, but I can't really say for certain for now. For now at least, right? I haven't tested him out in PvP. you know, in PvP there's a lot of scenarios that you can go up against, like maybe Ana in a tank team doesn't get one shot by him even with his 540% multiplier. That can happen, right? If you're going up against a Leon, Leon can heal up Ana maybe enough to not let her die, you know, something like that, right? And he doesn't bypass damage reduction, he doesn't bypass shield. So if that Ana has a bunch of shield on her HP, she might not just get one shot by this guy. But yeah, he's just going to keep on cycling. It's crazy. As long as he doesn't die throughout the fight, he is one of the best PvP espers in the game. So now that we've gone over his strong points, his main weakness. If you don't run him with a Mavis in a tank team, he ends up just dying and not reviving. And he doesn't work that well with Cecilia as well, because when he dies, he just ends up dying. He doesn't, you know, cycle his passive that well, because when he gets revived, he revives with no Envious Moon. So this is one of his biggest weakness. I've explained this in the previous video as well. So right here he dies, but then we have a Cecilia to revive him. But because he doesn't get that Envious Moon, he will no longer proc his passive anymore. See? He just ends up dying, and you will never get to the 12 stacks. So that's one of his major flaws. You cannot run him with Cecilia, but you can run him with Mavis. But one thing I'm going to show you right now is that with Mavis, there is a weird interaction between him. If you don't revive him when he has those stacks, this is what is going to happen. It's going to be a weird interaction. So right now I have 2 stacks, 3 stacks, and then when I get to 4 stacks, you will see that 4 stacks, he does nothing. The passive that he has, he doesn't do it on this turn. And then I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. Alright, we're nearing 8 stacks. So when we get to 8 stacks, I think you guys can already guess, he does nothing again. So again, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit more. Alright, we're pretty close to 12 stacks. And then when we get to 12 stacks, again, he's going to do nothing. And that's the reason he does nothing is because he's in the graveless state. He can't, when you are in the graveless state, you cannot do anything, right? So he has 12 stacks right here. He doesn't do anything. But when Mavis dies, he will revive, and he will only cast the last 12 stacks of the Envious Moon. So this one, he only casts the multi-hit, and that's it. He doesn't do anything else. And this only happens if you can't get him to revive when he has 4 or 8 stacks. When you have him at 4 stacks and you die, I'm going to show you another replay. When he gets to 4 stacks and you have him in the graveless state, again, I showed you just now, he will not cast the Fickle Moon, right? But if you revive him at around 6 or between 4 to 8 stacks, he will then cast the Fickle Moon during that time span. So right here, my Mavis dies, he revives with 7 stacks, and then he casts the Fickle Moon. So as long as you can get him to revive between 4 to 7 stacks, he will revive and then cast whatever threshold that he has passed over. So for example, in that scenario right there, I have him at 7 stacks, but since I haven't casted the Fickle Moon yet, and I revive him at 7 stacks, he will then cast the Fickle Moon because he already passed the threshold. So that's one thing you should be worried about, because like I said in my previous video, you kind of want to run him with Mavis, but there's also going to be some problems when you run him with Mavis, right? If you happen to not revive him all the way throughout his 12 stacks, he's only going to be using up his Pale Fire Snatch, and he won't be using up Fickle Moon or Lunatic. And this can happen if your tank team is extremely slow, which is most of the time, because when you run Mavis, you want her to be extremely slow but super tanky, right? So if she is extremely slow, she gets AP control, she will not get a revive in, she cannot cast her S3, she can only revive your Ikki when she dies. And then by the point that she dies, your Ikki already most likely reaches 12 stacks, and he's only going to cast the Pale Fire Snatch. Okay, now let's say you're stubborn, right? You still want to use him in a tag team without his R1. So what's going to happen is that all of this AoE espers is just going to kill him off, and he's not going to do anything about it. See? Like, he does a lot of damage when the enemies attack you, but he doesn't do enough for you to survive without his R1. So even with Cecilia reviving him, he revives without the Fickle Moon or Envious Moon. He just gets, you know, bullied with this Espos right here. And I don't think I even get to 12 stacks right here. So he even got his shield, and he managed to proc his first stuff. And Ggez moves, Ggez kills. There we go. It's a little bit difficult for you to really try to get to 12 stacks if you don't have enough units to really protect him, or you know, if you're going up against a Shren Pin. I mean, in higher tier PvP, people don't really run Shren Pin, but people still do use like CJ, which is a very good AoE DPS, and CJ is going to be enough to 100 to 0 this guy, right? Ggez is also still being used for most people, and there we go. He doesn't full cleanse when he gets to 4, 8, 12 stacks. He only cleanses the stuns, which means it's you know, if you get like buff block, you're not gonna get the shield that he provides from his 8 stacks. You are not going to heal up if you have a disease debuff. You know, there's a few problems with him. If you have like maybe a miss rate debuff, then you will miss your attacks, you know, stuff like that, right? And then one other problem with him is that sometimes you overlap the Envious Moon buff. When I get to 12 stacks, 4 stacks he's gonna AP push everyone, remove their buffs, and then he's gonna cast his S3, but he already has Envious Moon. So the next time that I get Envious Moon is when he gets his S3 off cooldown, which is within 4 turns. It's a very long cooldown. Again, he only has this form. His only cheat death mechanic is this sleep no more buff, and once this one dissipates, he's done for, right? He doesn't have any stealth. If he gets stripped, he's done for. He's dead. You can just target him, you know, tunnel him all you want. So right here, he's gonna get 12 stacks. And then also one thing that you should know is that if he is the only one alive, your stealth buff will go away. There we go. He dies, and then he will no longer have the Envious Moon buff until he casts his S3. So there we go. Because his S3 is on cooldown, he will not have the Envious Moon. And then right here, let me see if he has the Envious Moon or not. He doesn't. So he has his S3 is still on cooldown, and this cannot be affected by anything, right? So right here, we're gonna see that he's going to get sniped just as soon as his invincibility buff is gone. He no longer has anything to protect him. He dies. One of his biggest counters, I think, is going to be Jin Chu. Jin Chu with his reactive shield, when he has the R2 and he grants intimidate buff to maybe Ana. Ana will keep on proccing the intimidate buff and gain shield, which means all of his minuscule, you know, multi-hit attacks, it does add up to a very big number. But because it does very low damage per hit, and since the shield is reactive shield, this guy probably will not be able to kill off Ana that easily if there is an R2 Jinchu. Let me just try him out real quick against this team. Alright, bear with me a little bit. He has some terrible stats. It's the best I got. It's attack, decent attack, 3000 attack, but very low crit damage. So I want to see if he has enough damage to cut through Jinchu's reactive shield, to see whether, you know, does Jinchu really hard counter him, or is it just in theory, right? He has a lot of multi-hits, and Jinchu's shield is reactive, which means, you know, it doesn't matter how many hits you do. If you do like 1% multiplier, but you do like a million attacks, you're still not going to break through Jinchu's shield because it keeps on replenishing. Okay, Jinchu cast the S3, now he has intimidate buff on him. Once I get to 12 stacks, I want to see if his damage can pierce through that shield, or is he really not going to do that much? Wait, does Jinchu even have... Oh, he doesn't even pierce through that shield. Yeah, he still has the intimidate buff, and that shield is going to keep on renewing with each attack that he does. So R2 Jinchu, is going to be a nightmare for this guy, especially if you're trying to kill off maybe Mavis, and then Mavis gets that shield. You cannot really kill off Mavis, you cannot really kill off Ana with this intimidate buff, because it's just too powerful, right? 30% of max HP that keeps on replenishing on every single hit. This guy can't really do much against that. Another unit that has a reactive shield is Jang Juli. So yeah, this is also going to be a big problem for him. I think I'm just going to get one shot right here, because he only did like 16,000 damage. So yeah, Jang Juli is also going to be a big problem for him once he turns into the demon mode. And if he targets Jang Juli, then all of his stacks are going to be useless, right? He gets to 12 stacks to do basically nothing at that point, because okay, we just end up getting one shot here. But if you're going up against Jang Juli on demon mode, his 12 stacks will all be for nothing, because those shield will just keep on replenishing on each hit. Alright, let's see how well he does against Ana. He's like the ultimate counter to Ana, right? So if I bring him against an Ana, I should insta win, right? So let's see. I'm gonna run attack lead. Again, this team is not the best, but it's the PTR server. This guy also doesn't have the best team. Probably doesn't even have runes on his Espos. Let's see. I want to see just how much damage that he does on Ana. He's not on the best build, but we should get a rough idea on how well he can deal against an Ana, right? Can he really one-shot Ana on the live server with all these multipliers that he has? We don't know. Yeah, with the shield on the... Oh, that's so good. Yeah, this is so good. That AoE buff strip is just so good on him. I think that's one of his biggest points, because, you know, 4 turns is all the enemy needs to set up the buffs. There we go. That's the HP cap reduction. And then now TA has the highest... Oh, okay, that's bad. TA actually has the highest stacks, so he's gonna go for TA. Yeah, he doesn't kill because Tolan debuffed him. He's gonna cycle back to his stuff. Again, if the enemy doesn't have any AoE attack, then he's gonna be cycling like crazy, and he's gonna be super problematic to the enemy team. Okay, 8 stacks again. Let's see if we can get to 12 stacks. Hopefully we can kill that TA off before. No, I think we're gonna get to 12 stacks again without killing off that TA, so his attacks are gonna go all towards TA. Yeah, now he no longer has the buff, and he's just going to get one shot, I think. Okay, the shield is pretty massive, but it gets removed instantly. And unfortunately, he couldn't get to 12 stacks before Ana nuked him. That's unfortunate. Again, if the targeting doesn't favor you, then he's not going to be targeting his S3, his passive, Pale Fire Snatch, onto Ana. So, not a direct counter to Ana if you get unlucky, right? Let's try to fight another Ana team to see if we can do something about it. This one has any AoE attack, so I think we're just going to get sniped off the planet. I'm just going to give it a shot. Yeah, we still lose. Hopefully we can mark Ana this time around and maybe one-shot her. Okay, we remove all of their buffs. Super good. Right now, Hilda is the one that has the buff or the debuff. Okay, now Ana has the debuff. That's good. Come on, get to 12 stacks. No, I don't think I can get to 12 stacks. He's gonna die right here. Okay. He's super close to get to 12 stacks, but I think he's gonna die for... Yeah, he dies first before he gets to 12 stacks. There's gonna be a lot of problems with him trying to counter Ana in a speed team. You maybe can counter Ana in a tank team, but I mean, so far in a cleave team, it's really difficult for you to counter her. Alright, let's try against this team. Okay, we win. There we go. That's 1 stack on her. And she took a lot of damage from that because of the counter attacks. Look at that, 8,000 damage on her. She's dead. Oh my god. If you get him to roll, he's just gonna do some crazy stuff, right? 50% of attack, like I said, it doesn't seem like a lot, but because of the fact that he can crit, he just ends up killing Ana just like that. So with the Trend Pin, I'm gonna amplify his damage even further, so he should be just like one-shot Ana. whenever Ana gets the turn, right? I'm gonna manual it. Hopefully I can outspeed. I don't have the best gear. Nice, we outspeed. So I can zero out the Clara. Now when my Xuanpin does the AoE, she's going to get counter attacked by Ana, but she's also gonna give the horse buff to... Okay, that only did 4000 damage because I missed the crit. I'm not gonna AP push. I'm just gonna keep on attacking Ana and see what happens. See how much damage I do on a crit. 8000 still. So I don't think he gets amplified with the buff that Xuanpin provides. It doesn't seem like it because he's doing the same damage as he was previously. But that's a lot of damage, right? 8000 every time that Ana counters. There we go, 10,000 damage this time because we got a higher crit damage. You can just bait Ana to keep on attacking. Every time she attacks, that's gonna proc another 10,000 damage to her. I think I'm just dead right here. Don't die. I just died. Okay. Well, never mind. Well, you get the gist of it, right? He can counter Ana pretty well if you don't have his R0 and you run him in a speed team, just to bait out Ana to keep on counter attacking you, so that you can do like 10k damage, 20k damage if you have him well built. But if in a tank team, going second against an Ana, you're still gonna get clapped most of the time. Let's see here. Probably gonna get clapped again. Yeah, going second against an Ana and in a team that has an AoE attack that can just one-shot him, it's not really ideal. And if you don't land the buff or the Wax or the Envious Moon on Ana, then his purpose to be an Ana counter has totally been diminished, right? So right here, Ana is not the one with the Waxing Moon debuff. So when he gets to 12 stacks, he's not going to be targeting Ana. He is very good at countering Hilda because his 4 stacks just removes the stacks on the buff on Hilda. So Hilda will no longer be able to sleep your Espos, right? That's very good about him. Okay, Ana did get the stuff. Can we one-shot? What the hell was that? He didn't go for Ana. What? Alright, I don't know why he didn't go for Ana that time. Clearly, Ana had the debuff, but for some reason he still went for Clara. I don't know why. If I go to Ana right now, she has the Moon Scar, which means she's the one that has added the most stacks to Ikki, right? But for some reason, look at this. He didn't even go for Ana. He went for Clara. What? Is it random? I'm gonna try that one more time. If it's random, it's so dumb. Okay, this time Ggez has the buff and he gets one shot. Okay. Okay, 12 stacks. Clara has the debuff. He goes for Clara. Okay. I think that was a fluke the first time around. I don't know why he didn't go for Ana and went for Clara instead. That was a weird interaction. But yeah, you get the gist of it. So in conclusion, do I think he's better than Ana? I can't really say for certain right now. He can have the potential to be better than Ana as long as you don't consume the Sleep No More debuff or buff, and he continuously cycles his passive, right? If you can get him to do that, he's going to be so annoying to deal with and so detrimental to the enemy team. Keep reducing their AP, keep removing their buff, doing this occasional nukes, and potentially wiping out one of their Espers. That's going to be really huge. And because of the fact that if you don't consume the Sleep No More, you can continuously proc this 50% of his attack, right? But again, Ana is just like, if you want to use him to counter Ana, there's a lot of RNG to it. If Ana is not the one that has the Moon Scar, he's not going to be nuking Ana first. And like I said, he's going to be mega countered by Jinchu, R2 Jinchu, Jang Juli. If Jang Juli has the Moon Scar, then his attacks will do no damage. He will keep on targeting Jinchu, and it will be, keep on refreshing the shield, right? That being said though, do I think he's worth it to summon? I still believe he's worth it to summon. He's still a top tier Shimmer legend. Again, if you don't have him at R1, use him in a cleave team. if you have him at R1, you can start running him in a tank team and try to protect him as best as you can so that he can cycle his passive and do all of those annoying stuff, right? I'm not confident enough to really tell you what the Shimmer priority list right now is until I can really test him out in PvP, but for now I would say he's in the same league as Tolan, because Tolan can only be run in a speed team. This guy also pretty much in the same boat, right? You can only run him in a speed team. I mean, you can still run him in a tank team if you really protect him at all costs. If the enemy doesn't have a AoE attacks, then he could really pop off. But without enough supports, he doesn't have enough surviving mechanics that can sustain through the fight. Whereas Ana, I would still say maybe Ana is number 1, because the amount of teams that you can run her in, speed team, tank team, control teams, you can slot her in and she will. It's not the fact that she will maybe be good for that team. No, she will guarantee get you a high score if you slot her in any team. That's how good Ana is. Tolan, however, you cannot really get him in a tank team and get a guaranteed boost in your win rate. Something like Ana, right? Ikki on the other hand, I can't really say for certain as well, because again, he can just get wiped off the face of the planet turn 1 with an AoE aspect, right? Keep in mind, before you summon for him, I would say just wait for me to summon on my main account and do further testing there, because the PTR server is super limited. I'm at a point was 7, so I can't really test against real players. Like, these players are, I wouldn't say they're bots, but the account is super low level that some strategies may work in low level arena, but some strategies won't, right? You won't see Lucas in high level arena, and you won't see Ggez all that much as well, right? Just wait for me to summon on my main account and do some further testing. And yeah, that's about it. Ciao.